What kind of torture did you face?
They used to burn us alive, to beat our mothers, sisters, children ruthlessly. They used to gang rape women and burn them alive after rape. We have come here to save the lives of our mothers and sisters.
The 21st century. What's wrong with us? Boundless cruelty, inhumanity have become the basis of our society. Nobody is sure of their safety. Today, military conflicts and climate disasters arise at any time, anywhere in the world. Nowadays, a refugee is 100% prospect for every inhabitant of our planet. Do you know what it's like to be a refugee?
Here, in Katupalang refugee camp, it's like a prison. So we've already lost our beautiful life. So will our children's future be ruined in the same way? Why did we come to Bangladesh? We've faced so brutal tortures. Why did we sue Myanmar authorities in the International Criminal Court? But still we are deprived of our legitimate rights. How long will last our grief as refugees? It's been 30 years since we became refugees. We have no future. What would be our children's future?
Yes, and actually now it seems that it has been more than 30 years. For 30 years we weren't able to live like human beings. There is no place in this world where we are able to live safely. Our lives in this refugee camp have become more miserable than that of prisoners. When people become prisoners, they are appointed a lawyer to escape from that. But we've been living here like prisoners for more than 30 years. And in the whole world, there is not a single lawyer for us. We want to escape from this awful prison. If the Bangladesh government wants, they can free us from this prison. We want to inform the whole world, all lawyers of the world. We don't want to lead a life of refugees anymore. We don't want to see our future generation as refugees. We would have committed suicide if we had known beforehand the misery of a refugee life.
Today, refugee camps are death camps and concentration camps. And this is the result of the work of the UN and other organizations meant to help refugees. These are the realities of the consumerist format of society in which we all live. It is the format of inhumanity, indifference to one another, extreme cruelty and irresponsibility for what is happening. No change of these or those representatives of power will improve the situation unless the conditions are changed. In order to change this situation, it is necessary to change the format of relations between people and society as a whole. We need the format in which the value of human life, its security and safety will be guaranteed for everyone. And humanity, mutual help and support will be the basis of interrelations between people. The only solution is to build a creative society. If nothing is changed now, tomorrow, each of us will find ourselves in this concentration camp. And that's the best prospect for you as a refugee.
Condition there is terrible and so bad. The people living like each camp maybe 110 or more than it, or under the 100. Between the 110, it is no space, safety space. Last visit for the camp, I saw a lot child, some children without shoes under the snowing, and some children didn't care about the cold weather, and some father wake up all the night to protect the children from the cold, because not heater there, and hard to take heater for all the night, because it is just tent and dangerous. So the problem, I think that all the NGO should focus about how improve the situation more than how give him help for 2 weeks and end. A lot of the NGO just provide and give him food kit, clothes, and we need it. But the problem it is why we every years in the winter have this problem. So just the NGO what doing, keep everything, and every winter provide the same help. If the money collect from the 1 years and building home or houses for the people, you will not have this problem again. You can focus about another thing and building the economic there.
So why is the existence of these camps around the world beneficial? What prevents this issue from being solved once and for all? The answer is obvious. Refugees are a business, shady business, where the goods are people. You are a commodity. Refugees are easy prey, they will not be sought, no one needs them, neither the state from which they are fleeing, nor the host party. Refugees are a profitable business that makes a steady profit. They can be sold several times with minimal investment, earning a maximum income. A refugee is a commodity that is in constant demand for sex trade, cheap labor, and organ trade. Refugee camps are a source of both official and unofficial income for those who work in the camps themselves and to those who work for international organizations. It is impossible to stop this monstrous business in the consumerist format because there is an endless demand. State authorities are involved and there will always be reasons why people are forced to flee.
In this business, there are a lot of poachers, there are a lot of stalkers, there are a lot of hunters, and these people grab the thing. So the government is also aware about it. The customs are aware about it. The coastal guards are aware about it, like which boat is moving from where and to where. So from point A to point B, yes, it is a business. And everyone is involved again. Because of war thing, in most of the countries where people need some place to move around, there are many scammers who are in the market, who say that, okay, you pay me so much amount, I take your family safe and sound and well. If the scammer is a butcher, then you know the family is devastated. And you never know if the family is all together, because their intention is just to take the subject. So either the family is dead or something like that.
Human trafficking, an epidemic that is global, and it's not just a certain nationality or you come from a different region. We have heard of young girl as young as 8 years old being pregnant from these refugee camps. We have adults that have been missing part of these refugee camps, where people are picking them up by the van load and transferring them to somewhere else. And this is not going to stop anytime soon. As you look at these refugee camps and how people are coming in.
Refugee camp, it sounds very absurd, but understand this is how it works. The refugee camp doesn't have all the good-looking girls or all the good-looking boys. I'm emphasizing on boys and girls because the young boys are also in good demand. Understand this. So even the boys are not safe. The more white, the more better. The white skin is in demand in the flesh trade. I'm serious. The refugee camp kids, they are just like peanuts. The reason I compared them to peanuts is they are on the top filling. So it is just filled. If the batch is incomplete, okay, we fill some more. Take them from this refugee camp.
Hundreds of thousands of people die in military conflicts and millions become refugees. As long as society is based on the principle of divide and rule, as long as there is a constant struggle for resources, confrontation, and division of spheres of influence, no human will be safe.
Most of the organizations are suffering from the shrinkage of funds to support the refugees. Why? Also, the political issues play a role here. The duplicity. Deal with your political issue with each other, but there are refugees and IDPs here. They need shelter, they need food, they need the health care, they need a lot. And no, we are not interested there. The humanitarian work is being politicized now. Literally.
Our country is involved in war for the 40 years, maybe 45 years, but no solving, it is not solved in a result. We are also human. We are also have the same dream to get education, to have all the facilities of life.
Politicians, they are creating armies so that they can kill people in order to get their own benefit. So when there is political stability and good governance, then people will not flee from the country. Here, there's also some refugees who come because of hunger, because of some economic issues. Not only they come because of war, but even due to economic issues like drought.
A refugee is a human, fleeing from mortal danger, but death awaits him ahead.
The border now is like action movie. A lot of people can't cross because the army maybe catch him, maybe the army think him enemy and shoot him. And I saw a woman with the child killed near the border, just 10 meters, just trying to cross.
Today, the climate is forcing huge numbers of people to leave their countries. There is no place for these people anywhere in the consumer society, only in refugee camps, which are already overcrowded. But even there, they have no escape from the climate.
Due to climate change, we have to expect that in the next years and decades, really serious catastrophes with large movements of refugees can actually occur.
You know, we see people put in desperate positions in terms of, through conflicts, through climate change, people that are displaced can no longer carry on their lives as they have been, and they find themselves in desperate situations, and as a result of that, there are people ready and willing to prey on those people in desperate situations, and whether we are talking about migrant camps and people being targeted with promises of significant amounts of money for parting with organs, body organs, or whether actually they're taken from a position where they're put into, offered a job, only to find out, effectively it's almost like a labour camp. These things are absolutely happening.
It's going to have this vicious cycle, and we've been seeing it, and I think advocates in the human trafficking, the anti-trafficking field have started to talk a lot more about the really close intersections of human trafficking and climate change, because one is going to exacerbate the other.
We're doing a story for some project we're having of people that were affected by floods, and They lost their homes. And this mother is a single mother of 12 kids. So she was telling us how she had struggled to make a living with her status of being a single mother. And then after, out of nowhere, these floods came and took all her property, destroyed her house, and now she's homeless again. So she was telling us how she has always had suicidal ideations. This tells you how real climate change is negatively impacting not only the well-being, but also the physical and mental well-being of the person, of the people that are affected. And then the second, of course, which is more obvious, is loss and damage. These people had their property, their homes, and then now floods come, landslides come. They're taking away all this property.
The situation with refugees clearly reflects the essence of our society today. In the consumer society, no one wants to solve other people's problems. Everyone is focused on themselves. Hypocrisy and hatred are everywhere. We literally devour each other. No problem can ever be solved in the consumerist format. Such a society has no perspective. It's a dead-end society and it's doomed. There are modern concentration camps, refugee camps, in the various parts of the world. Some of them have existed for over 70 years. Generations of people become eternal prisoners in these concentration camps. The solution to this issue has become impossible because refugees are a lucrative billion-dollar tax-free business. For the consumerist format of society, people are commodity. Funds earmarked for refugees are pocketed, and the result is tarpaulin tents in the freezing cold instead of normal living conditions. Electric heaters without electricity, buckets of ice-cold water outside instead of normal showers. Refugees are people trapped between states without rights or protection. They become easy prey for traffickers. Children are in demand at organ market and as sex slaves. This is why no one will do anything to help people. Because a refugee camp is as lucrative as an oil rig, only it's not black gold that it's being pumped, it's human life. The situation with climate and constant military conflicts will lead to the fact that all of us will become refugees. And what will happen? We will end up in concentration camps where we'll gobble each other up for a sip of water and a piece of bread. If we don't change the consumerist format, that will happen. And it won't happen in decades, it will happen in the coming years. Everyone who remains alive will be caught in this meat grinder.